All right, Broncos country, we need to talk about Micah Parsons and his chances of becoming a Denver Bronco after formally requesting a trade from the Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be a complicated conversation with a lot to unpack. I think that we should set some context here first and foremost by reading some of the statement that Micah put out on his Twitter account today. Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy and wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports, that's a false statement, and make this America's team once again. The team my pops and I grew up cheering for way up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. I had purposely stayed quiet in hopes of getting something done, but since there's confusion out there, let me clear things up. It goes on and on from there. You can read this if you want to. It's on Micah Parsons' Twitter account. But the short version is, he's accusing Jerry Jones of calling him into the meeting room, holding a meeting that was supposed to be about leadership, and instead turning it into a contract negotiation without his agent present. Then Micah's agent calls up the Cowboys, and the Cowboys say that the deal's close to getting done, when in reality that isn't true at all. So that's the first thing that makes Micah upset with the Cowboys. Then, after that, Jerry Jones went in front of the media right when training camp started, and he said that, well, even if we pay Micah, that doesn't mean that he's going to be out there. He missed 6 games last year. First of all, in reality, he only missed 4 games, not 6, and he had still had a really good season last year despite missing that time. Double-digit sacks, was top of the NFL in overall pass rush production, and he's still a monster on the defensive line. So he's one of those guys that you want to take care of, but Jerry Jones, negotiating with him is like pulling teeth. I saw Ari Mirov put out a video that behind closed doors, Jerry tries to get the players away from their agents and sell them on taking a discount and selling them on this America's Team brand. That works for some players. It didn't work in this case for Micah Parsons. He's not buying any of Jerry's bullcrap here. He wants to get paid market value. He deserves to be up there with TJ Watt and Myles Garrett as the highest paid edge rushers in the NFL. And to this point, the Dallas Cowboys, they're just stalling the negotiations, going back and forth. They're not making any good faith effort to get an extension done, but Micah's camp has. They tried to reach out after his 3rd season to get something done. The Cowboys said no. They tried to reach out this year at the Combine. The Cowboys said no. And now you've got Dallas spreading these false narratives in the media. Some of it's Jerry Jones, some of it's the rest of the organization, and Micah's pissed, rightfully so. How would you feel if your place of employment treated you like that after you had shown nothing but loyalty to the organization for years? I'd be pretty pissed, and I know Micah is too, so he's done. He wants out, and I'm at a point where I don't think this relationship is going to improve. I think Micah Parsons is ultimately going to get traded. I don't think it's going to work out like Myles Garrett with the Cleveland Browns, where Myles said that he wanted out, but then the Browns went out and they paid him the highest amount of money to a player non-quarterback in the NFL at the time. And Myles was like, okay, that's fine. We'll live with that. I guess I'm going back to Cleveland. I don't think that this is going to happen here with Micah Parsons. How this relates to the Denver Broncos, I gotta be honest, man. The Broncos are about to dish out a big edge rusher contract to Nick Bonito. And I've said on this channel that I'm skeptical about giving Bonito that type of contract. I would not be skeptical at all about giving Micah Parsons that kind of contract. In fact, I would be more than content making him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. Can the Broncos afford that right now? In terms of their salary cap, not necessarily. But remember, they've got cash-rich owners, literally the richest owners in all professional sports. So they have ability to manipulate the salary cap, push this money into future years. They could make it work Give Micah a big signing bonus, that way it hits his bank account now. They've got the liquid cash up front that they could put into an escrow account. They could make this work on the salary cap and still make Micah Parsons the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. Now, you would have to trade for Micah. And what would that trade entail? I think you could start the conversation off with Nick Bonito, a player who Dallas Cowboys fans seem to be interested in on Twitter, and maybe a couple of draft picks. A first would have to go in there, probably your 2026 first, and then you'd throw in a third round pick as well, so maybe a 2027 third round pick. Now, is that likely a lowball offer for Micah Parsons? Yes, but his trade value is diminishing and diminishing as the days go on, as Dallas continues to drag this out, and they might get to a point where Micah's not going to report. He'd just be willing to eat fines, and then Dallas would be without their best player and no draft capital to recoup from it. He'd end up walking as a free agent next year, and they'd get absolutely nothing in return. Well, I guess they'd get a third-round compensatory pick, but they don't want just a third-round pick for Micah Parsons. This might be their best opportunity to maximize trade value, and again, I think we're at a point now where the trade offers might be lower and we could still see something get done. Is it completely realistic? I don't know, but this Broncos team is trying to win a Super Bowl this year, and Micah Parsons might be that piece that takes them over the hump. But I know there's some in Broncos country that are saying, but what about Nick Bonito? But what about Nick Bonito? Micah Parsons has been one of the most productive edge rushers in the NFL since he came into the league. First in pass rush win rate, second in quarterback pressures. He's been a monster, and he's one of the best run defending edge rushers in the NFL. That's one of the areas where Nick Bonito continues to struggle. He's great in pass rush, or solid in pass rush. He benefits a lot from having one-on-one matchups because Zach Allen's on the D-line. Imagine having Micah Parsons and Zach Allen on the same side. Who would you slide the double team to? I have no idea. This is a scenario where Nick Bonito has been a really solid player. But when you look at pass rush win rate, I have it right here in front of me. He was 42nd amongst edge rushers with a minimum of 200 snaps last year, a 12.4% pass rush win rate. Not great, Bob. Then, when you look at pressures, he had 57 total pressures, which was 18th. Nick Bonito, again, benefits from a lot of one-on-one opportunities because of Zach Allen being there. Imagine having Zach Allen one-on-one because you have to slide the protection to Micah Parsons. That could be a nightmare for offenses to have to contend with. Again, I'm not saying Nick Bonito is a bad player and that Denver shouldn't pay him, but if you're going to pay somebody, I'd be more comfortable paying Micah Parsons because he could be that one piece that this team needs to get him over the hump. Both in pass rush and in run defense, he is a way more productive player than Nick Bonito is. I understand that fans have this attachment to Nick Bonito, but if it's up to me, man, I'm making a deal. I'm trading for Micah Parsons. Within reason, of course. I'm not giving up multiple first-round picks to get him, but if it's a first, a third, and Nick Bonito, all day. I am doing it 100%. We'll see what happens, though, man. I don't ultimately think that Micah Parsons is going to be a Denver Bronco, but it's a fun conversation to have, and I do think that it's at least worth talking about here in the Mile High City. All right, Broncos country, let me know in the comment section below. Would you guys approve of the Denver Broncos trading Nick Bonito, a first and a third, to the Dallas Cowboys for Micah Parsons, or do you want to bank on the long-term upside and potential development of Bonito? Drop those comments down below, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts, as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe to the channel so these videos appear in your notification feed. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. And if you want to go above and beyond in supporting the channel, please consider becoming a channel member today. That would be absolutely incredible. It is not mandatory, but if you want to help support me and support the channel, the link is in the description below. And until next time, guys, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.